Hi everyone, I'm Shyla. I'm 50 years old, and I live in the countryside of China. A lot of you have asked in the comments what it's like to live in such a big house by myself. Today, I'll share what my daily life is really like. It was completed in 2010 and cost about 150,000 RMB back then. My home is a typical northern Chinese countryside courtyard. In our village, almost every household has a small vegetable patch outside their yard. I grow eggplants, corn, and long beans on bamboo trellises, all everyday vegetables. I cook regularly. I can check on them whenever I come and go. When I have spare time, I loosen the soil and pull weeds here. It's very easy to take care of. Next to the vegetable patch, I also planted a pomegranate tree. The tree is already bearing lots of green fruit, but they aren't ripe yet. These round eggplants have tender flesh. They work well stewed or stir-fried, and are one of the most common everyday dishes on northern Chinese dinner tables. This is my main front gate, the entrance we use to come and go from the courtyard. Carved on the lintel are the 4 characters, 天赐百福, meaning may heaven grant our home 100 blessings. In rural China, nearly every home has an auspicious plaque like this above its gate, wishing the family peace and good fortune. On either side of the gate are Spring Festival couplets I put up this year, symbolizing a thriving household and smooth sailing in life. Seeing the right couplet curling up from the wind, I decided to peel both sides off and tidy them up. Now he's away driving long-haul trucks most of the year, so I have to handle everything around the house myself. That's how it is living alone. If I can do it myself, I don't bother anyone else. Now that I've taken them down, the next time I put up new couplets will be the Spring Festival in 2027. Push open the gate, and you'll step into my courtyard. I've hung a sunshade net overhead. It blocks harsh summer sunlight and keeps the yard cooler on hot days. Running water is installed at the side of the courtyard, making daily chores really convenient. The water pipes are wrapped in insulation to prevent freezing in winter, so I have running water all year round. After farm work or tending the vegetable garden, I come here to wash off all the dirt. I wonder if there's something about yourselves that you've always felt self-conscious about. I was born with a large birthmark on my leg. For all these years, I've almost never worn a skirt in front of other people. I always get nervous instinctively, worrying others will notice and talk about it. There have been many times I really liked a skirt, yet I'd quietly change back into long trousers. A long cord is strung above the courtyard wall. This is my outdoor clothesline. After washing clothes, I hang them here to dry. The wind and sunlight dry them quickly, leaving a lovely, natural sunlit scent. The washing machine is placed against the courtyard wall, and I do all my laundry here. We also have a private water well in the courtyard. If the running water gets cut off, this well saves the day, so I never have to worry about lacking water. The weather has been extremely hot lately, so I'm going to connect the hose and wash down the courtyard floor. Well, water is much cooler than tap water. After hosing everything down, the whole yard feels noticeably cooler. I often use well water to irrigate my vegetable plot and clean the yard. It's convenient and saves money. This room beside the yard is my storage room. The longer I live here, the more belongings I accumulate. All the things I can't bear to throw away are kept inside this room. Inside are a two-wheeled motorcycle and a tricycle. Years ago, I relied on them to get around and work in the fields. Now, electric scooters are so convenient. I just charge them up, which saves money and hassle. The fuel-powered vehicles barely get driven these days and sit parked here. Looking at these old belongings always brings back memories of busy days gone by. They may not be useful anymore, but keeping them at home makes me feel grounded. Now that I'm 50, I've come to understand that life isn't only about new and convenient things. These preserved old items are little reminders left by time. This is the only restroom in my home, located beside the courtyard. I've always had a small regret from when the house was built. We only constructed one bathroom and didn't add another. Step inside the main building, and the first room we come to is the kitchen, the place you see most often in my videos. It gets stifling hot in the kitchen during summer, and this wall fan is all I rely on to stay cool. My husband installed this fan for me with his own hands years ago. This 4-door refrigerator in the kitchen is something I thought long and hard about buying last year. I have a range hood mounted on the wall. Cooking fumes flow outside through this long white ventilation pipe. There's no piped natural gas in our village, so I mostly cook with this induction cooker. It's been with me for 12 years now, and it still works perfectly after all this time. Recently, my husband bought this liquefied gas stove for me. He says open flame brings better heat, making meals taste richer and more homely. But I haven't actually used the new gas stove yet. Right next to the kitchen is the bathroom, where I wash up and take showers every day. There's an electric water heater inside the shower area, so I have hot water all year round. On the other side of the kitchen lies the dining room with a large round table. When family members gather or we have guests over, we dine in this room. But I live alone most days, so this dining area barely gets used throughout the year. This cross-stitch hanging on the dining room wall was stitched by my own hands. It took me nearly half a year. Whenever I finished my daily work, I made time to stitch it slowly. The flying eagle and long great wall hold my wish. May my family be safe and live a better life. Now let's take a look at the living room. This is the biggest room in the whole house, furnished with leather sofas. I relax and receive guests here. This large calligraphy plaque on the living room wall bears a famous Chinese poem. It describes the grand scenery of snow-blanketed northern China and reflects on heroes from ancient times. The center of the TV wall features the calligraphy harmony in the family brings prosperity, flanked by framed Fu characters. This carries our simplest wish. When family members understand and get along well, life will go smoothly. This Fu character on the wall expresses my wish for my family to stay safe and blessed. This stove in the middle of the living room is for winter heating. There is no central heating in the countryside, so we rely on it to get through cold winters. It can't produce much warmth. I have to wear heavy clothes indoors in winter and stack extra quilts at bedtime. When cold days come, I often envy houses with heating, as winters can be bitterly cold. The long exhaust pipe leads outside to vent smoke, so it's safer to use. In summer, this ceiling fan is our main source of cooling in the living room. There are 2 bedrooms on the first floor, and this one is where my husband and I live. We have an air conditioner on the wall, but I rarely turn it on. For an ordinary family like us, we try to save wherever we can. Electricity bills add up over time. When it's not too hot, I just use this standing fan. The gentle breeze is cool and comfortable enough for daily use. This row of wardrobes is very practical. All our clothes and seasonal quilts are stored inside. Keeping everything tidy makes the room look clean and neat. Next to the living room is the other bedroom, where my daughter used to live. The room is spacious, furnished with a bed and wardrobes. Now that my daughter has married, she seldom comes back. I still clean it regularly and keep everything as it was. This room will always be her space at home. Back in the early years, our family was not well off. When the house was first built, there was barely any decoration. We simply whitewashed the walls with no fancy touches at all. Over the years, we've been adding furniture piece by piece while living here, a wardrobe one day, a bed the next, slowly putting together the home it is today. This mountain bike in the room belongs to my husband. In his free time, he likes to ride it outside to work out. There are 2 storage rooms beside the staircase for storing sundries. All kinds of kitchenware, cooking oil, seasonings, bamboo baskets and buckets are kept here. We don't clutter the living space with cooking tools. Everything is sorted and stored here. Even though we own many items, proper storage keeps the main rooms tidy. We've finished touring the first floor. Now let's head upstairs along the staircase. There are 3 rooms on the second floor, and this bedroom belongs to my son. It is spacious, fully furnished with a desk and bed, arranged specially for him in the past. As my son has grown up, he leads his own life and seldom stays at home. I always keep this room tidy, ready for him whenever he comes back. The plot behind the house isn't tended as often now. When I look out, I can't help reminiscing about the days I farmed and waited for harvest. These sweet potato seedlings have already been planted. I love growing sweet potatoes in the backyard every year. Watching the vines spread across the ground, I can harvest baskets of sweet potatoes in autumn. Tending the plot in my spare time brings me simple joy. This other bedroom on the second floor stays empty most of the time, as we rarely have guests staying overnight. It holds all my husband's fitness equipment. As we grow older, Our bodies aren't as strong as they once were, so health becomes more important. When he has free time, he lifts dumbbells here to stretch his muscles. Keeping fit helps him take good care of himself. This last room on the second floor is used to store all kinds of household sundries. Buckets, sacks, and various tools are kept inside. We accumulate more and more belongings over the years. Having a dedicated storage room keeps the rest of the house tidy and spacious. This spacious hall on the second floor was renovated only 3 years ago. Back then, I was full of hopes, thinking it would be used when my son got married. But times have changed. Most young people hope to settle down in cities and seldom stay in the countryside for long. I often wonder quietly, will this home my husband and I built with all our efforts ever witness lively family gatherings again? Many people envy me for living alone in this 200 square meter house, saying I live a comfortable life like a wealthy family. Yet only I know what life here is truly like. What I cherish most is not the spacious house, but the precious freedom. For the first half of my life, I centered everything around my family. I cared for the elderly and raised my child. I cooked meals to suit everyone's tastes and adjusted my schedule for the whole family, barely having time for myself. Now things are different. I get to decide everything in this house and live at my own pace. Though I still have to go to work on time every day, I no longer rush to cook breakfast for the whole family. I don't have to cater to everyone's taste, and a simple meal for myself is enough. After coming home from work in the evening, I can sit outside enjoying the breeze as late as I want without being urged indoors. I can arrange things in the house any way I like, with no need to accommodate anyone else. Life is quiet here, free of trivial quarrels. I rest when tired and do housework slowly when I feel energetic. Sometimes I ask myself, is this peace a blessing or just loneliness? Let's have a chat while I'm preparing dinner. To be honest, living alone in such a big house brings peace. Yet loneliness creeps in sometimes. That's why I always keep myself busy to avoid idle thoughts. Still, living alone in such a large house brings hardships unseen by others. Cleaning is quite a burden. A thorough cleaning of the whole 200 square meter house takes half a day. The spare rooms upstairs don't need daily cleaning, but I have to dust them regularly, and I often end up with an aching waist after cleaning. At night, the house becomes extremely quiet. Every rustle of wind and chirp of insects can be heard clearly. When wind and rain pound the doors and windows, I sometimes feel a little scared. If I fall ill and feel unwell, I still have to boil water and cook on my own. There is no one to hand me a cup of warm water, and loneliness creeps over me. Fortunately, my little dog Lucky stays by my side wherever I go, being my warm companion. Now I'm going to make a classic northern Chinese stir-fry made with bean sprouts, vermicelli, chives, and eggs. simply cooked a plate for my dinner tonight. Deep down, I love lively domestic moments. I've always longed for the scene where the whole family sits around the table, chatting and sharing a meal. Yet, as time goes by, I've grown accustomed to cooking and eating by myself. I once hoped the house would always be filled with laughter, but I've come to understand life rarely goes exactly as we wish. I still look forward to family reunions, yet I've learned to cherish the present and take good care of myself quietly. After my last video came out, I read through every comment and piece of advice you all shared. I also sat down and talked it over with my husband. From now on, she will pay me back a little every month. I'm not in a rush to get it all back at once, and I don't want to put too much burden on either of us. We'll take life step by step. I often wonder, is happiness staying together with the whole family or living true to myself? This is my daily life living alone in a 200 square meter rural house. It is not glamorous, plain yet steady and free. Everyone pursues a different kind of life. For me, this slow and carefree life is already more than enough. I'm curious, do you prefer a lively life with family or a quiet life of solitude?